Thank you all for choosing to be here today. This is my daughter, Stella. She's 4 years old. If you're a parent, you probably already know that as soon as your kids realize they get choices, your life becomes exponentially more complicated. This was pared down, Halloween costume pared down from 12 choices painfully. So you might be wondering, so where's he going with this? Cute kid, but rewind 60 years and you'll have your answer. This next generation not only knows they have choices, but they've come to expect it. The boomers represent the single largest cohort of seniors and certainly the largest amount of wealth. They're also very accustomed to having choices and certainly they've had more choices than any generation before them. They're the generation that built the Starbucks empire, and if they place 4 adjectives in front of the coffees when they order them, then you can bet they're going to be looking for choices in your community when they're thinking about where they want to spend the rest of their lives. Does anybody know what this number is? Today, 10,000 people in America will turn 65. That's going to happen again tomorrow and the next day, and in fact, it's going to happen for the next 18 years. Now, this is a staggering 417 SPH. You all know what SPH is? Seniors per hour. It's the new utility for measure for the opportunity within our industry. So we know it's coming at us fast, but really how big is the opportunity? Well, a little more than a decade ago, there were under 1,000 CCRCs in the United States, and they were servicing about 320,000 seniors. A decade later, that's more than doubled on both accounts. Enter the Starbucks generation at 417 seniors per hour, and that's 365,000 seniors every year. So we're going to be doubling it in the next 2 years, and the growth rate's going to be 10 times what it's been in the last decade. So how can we make sure that your community is ready for this next generation of residents to help you seize that opportunity to get those residents into your communities? Well, we'd ask what Howard Schultz would do. Founder of Starbucks, he created a place where people would not only want to come, but they'd want to stay as well. He created a place where people would socialize, and he'd create a community within every store. But perhaps more importantly, he was creating a lot of coffee choices for his customers that would be appealing to him. And as a result, he ended up with a loyal and devoted customer base that would fuel growth of 5 new stores every week for 2 decades. So the choices are what built his $13 billion empire. Next, he supported it with the right people, systems, and tools. And in fact, without the right tools in place, there's no way that you could possibly offer choice within your community. Take, for example, the Starbucks card. In 2011, 1 in every 4 transactions was put onto a Starbucks card. That's $2.5 billion in revenues. One of the things that he learned from this is that by offering a choice in payment, he was also capitalizing on the fact that people tend to spend a bit more when they're using their Starbucks card. He also developed a fiercely loyal customer base that became his word-of-mouth marketing engine, and I think every community could use one of those. So here we are again with this guy. Exactly how are we going to attract him? How are we going to make sure that this more savvy Starbucks senior is going to be choosing our community? A good place to start is in offering more choice in the amenities that you have at your community. So if we translate the Starbucks model into CCRCs, we'd find that the resident is at the center. I would suggest that choice is the most important one because it's the most outward facing. It's what the residents see before they join your community. To compete for the boomer resident, communities are going to have to offer a lot more non-traditional type of options in their amenities. And by doing so, they're also going to create some other benefits, social health benefits, by creating this type of model. Even the smaller communities are going to be able to do something, change up that stale old meal-a-day plan, do cook-to-order menus, that sort of thing. Little things within your existing framework can make a big difference. And lastly, if you haven't started yet, don't panic. As I mentioned, this is going to be going on for the next 18 years, but those who procrastinate will be left with fewer choices, and choices are key. So thank you very much for joining us here today and for listening. I know you had a choice. You didn't have to sit down here today. It's all about choices. And I would encourage you, when you go back to your community, to look at everything that you do for your residents and say to yourself, what choice did they have? Okay? Anybody who wants to carry on the conversation, I'm right there in booth 1341. My name is Kevin McIntosh. I support the Give 'em Choice Party, and I approve this message.